Hey, good evening, everyone. If you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you see the Highway Committee?
Well, welcome everyone to the Town of Rutland Select Board meeting for Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019. Our 6 p.m. start. Full board, as always, which is great. We're going to get right to it. All board members seeing the orders?
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of Select Board minutes of August 20th.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Sharon, seconded by John. Any deletions, corrections, additions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I make too many motions. Maybe I won't make as many today. Just an observation.
I think you make just the right amount, Mary. Don't stop doing what you do, alright? Thank you, Bill, for my new gavel.
Oh, God.
Appreciate that.
You're enabling him.
Did get one?
You want one too?
No.
No.
Alright, at this time we would entertain any questions from the floor, any public comment. Anyone who's not on the agenda who wishes to speak would be heard now. Okay, hearing none. We're gonna go right to Bill Sweet. As Bill comes up, we got 2 more letters of thanks for the scholarships from Willie Goulet and Kaylee. Mary can pronounce
Oh,
it.
Mary will. Okay. It's VTAC.
Thank you. Well, nice letters there of thanks for the
The
scholarships.
scholarships. Very good.
Bill Sweet, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. Not too much in the packet tonight, so should be fairly easy. Number 1 is all the committee agenda items. We've got the Personnel and Finance Committee meeting tomorrow morning, right? Yes. Yep. Right on their agenda. Scheduled the last meeting.
10 o'clock,
10 o'clock. Yep. There it is.
Yep. That's
You gonna be able to make it?
unless we have to reschedule.
Please don't. The auditor's coming. We've got a couple people coming, so yep.
If you can't,
Mary, can you make it?
I can. I don't know if JP wants me there, though.
Yeah, I got it in my book.
I have,
We've
to
got-
take, I have to take a little girl with a broken wrist to the
Oh.
You can come to the meeting too. It's okay.
Yeah, it's at that time.
Oh, okay. So we've got not too much on for other committees, but just a few things to keep in mind to keep going. Number 2, Josh, you have the original in the envelope there. Our local hazard mitigation plan was accepted by FEMA, and now would need to be adopted. So that's the next step.
So I move that we adopt the, what is it? Hazard mitigation plan?
Second, glad to see you're slowing down on the motion making.
Sugar.
Why did I know that was going to come out of his mouth?
Motion by Mary, seconded by John Paul for discussion. I have the original. It says for signature for select board chair, and then it says select board member.
Yeah, just needs 2 signatures.
Okay. So, myself and the board clerk, Mary, could sign?
Yes.
Everyone was agreeable with that?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, while you're working on that, number 3 is just a copy of the report from the Division of Fire Safety when they came to look at our office and talked about the need of the additional door if necessary. So he just provided that report to us. So I want to pass along to you guys. We had also talked at the last meeting about several different projects. Thank you. And where some funds would come from. We talked about the Mead Fund and the Capital Improvement Fund. So Kirsten provided for number 4 are the current balances of those 2 funds as they stand right now. So for your records.
Thanks, Kristen.
And number 5, Bernie Valenti has started work on the transfer station, and it's just a copy of his quote from earlier this year. The deposit was paid to him, so he has started the work on that. So it's just a refresh of the of that.
So in connection with that, there's gonna be some light work that needs to be done, resetting, and Bernie is using his normal subcontractor on that. Bill Bauer asked me to come up to the station, transfer station today, and he showed me where we need to put lights with the new roof and stuff. We're gonna have to move some and reinstall some. And so the estimated cost for the electric is somewhere around $800. So just to let the board know, they're gonna proceed with that.
And whatever light fixtures we need to purchase new, we can probably get for full reimbursement on them.
So the other thing Bill recommended to us is those old lights in that transfer station are very high energy users, and we should be going to LED on those, and there are grants available similar to what we did here in the town, and we've asked Bill to pursue that to be able to get the grants to change those lights over to LED.
Yep.
It should reduce our electric bill considerably.
25-year-old lights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they take a while to warm up, as you know, to come to full brightness.
You know, that building, well, I don't know if it makes that much, that building is the only, one of the few that has three-phase power to it because of the compactor. So that might be an additional savings in the light. I don't know if it makes that much difference in lighting if they look at single-phase or three-phase, and I don't know what those are.
The LEDs are going to be very, that's
Yeah.
going to be very minimal impact, so.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we'll take care of that. Going back a couple meetings, we had the invoice from the Chamber of Commerce for the annual dues. That was $1,400.
Yeah.
And I met with someone from their office, because I called them. I said, what really are we getting for this $1,400? And has this gone up? And they assured me it's only gone up $11 over the past several years. So I said, okay. So what they said for our contribution is the town gets perk cards for the employees. They advocate for the area with their State of Stay program. They sponsor the legislative breakfast series. They are a regional business rep for us. They do marketing initiatives. They are and they give us legislative help. And they're residential networking resource for us. So that is what they came up with for the benefits for our $1,400.
Residential networking?
That's what they said. Yep.
Do we know what that is?
The person here was. That's what he told me, and he said we need more information. We'll get that, but yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Mm-hmm. So did we want to proceed with this, or do we want to leave this one for now?
I'm as a board member fine with it. It's just, it'd be nice once in a while to hear from the Chamber of Commerce on what exactly they're doing for Rutland Town.
Do they send in a report each year?
I think they do.
There would be.
Maybe somewhere in the back.
Yeah.
Should be in the table of contents.
There it is. So yes. It's the regional marketing campaign. Well, and then there's a
And we pay
separate.
$4,100 a year to that. That's separate than our dues.
Yes, it is.
Well, Mary looks at that. What else you got, Bill?
The only other thing on your desk is a draft of a letter for Kinney Motors for the parking along the side of the street, and you have the original there in the folder if you so choose.
We'll circulate that if all board members are in agreement.
Yep.
Mary, thanks. There was another original in here somewhere.
You had I have it, the local hazard mitigation
Okay,
plan
you
one.
already
I have
have
that one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is very helpful, by the way. Thank you.
That's yep. I keep it separate that way.
Keep us organized. Or me. What else, Bill?
That's all I have.
Sharon, anything for Bill? Joe?
Yes, I have a question. Billy, could you research into our ordinances? Several years ago, we passed an ordinance requiring, all private fire hydrants.
Yep.
And fire district hydrants to be, serviced, maintained on a yearly basis.
We even have an inspection form.
Yes, and I don't know, this in my time as fire chief and now as a board member, I've ever heard that this is being complied to. It's a yearly requirement.
I've got some old inspection forms that were done in the filing cabinet, but nothing recently.
Because we need to follow up on that, and just a little background on that ordinance came into play because of a poorly maintained hydrant that we couldn't open during a fire over here in Center Rutland, and so it just,
What would you like to know?
I'd like to
Very nice.
find out the wording. I can't remember the wording.
You want copies of it?
And then if we need to send letters out to where these are different private hydrants, and let them know that this is still on the books and they're required to get them serviced once a
Okay.
year.
Do you want me to send you a copy, or do you want me to have it for discussion for next meeting?
We can have a discussion, it's up to the rest of the board. I mean, I think it's something we should stay on top of.
No problem. The invoice for the Chamber of Commerce, you want to put that in for next meeting, or?
Please.
Okay. Okay.
What else, sir?
That's everything I have.
Great work.
Easy.
We can, I see it's on the agenda, the forest management plan. We can do that, but
Oh, yeah.
while you're here, you got the answer.
We discussed having to hire a forester to do our management plan. The state forestry office did some reshuffling, and the new person assigned to our area walked into my office a couple weeks ago and said, "Hi, I'm here from the forest management. I'm going to do your plan for you." So
Terrific.
they're going to do it for us. It's not going to cost us anything. So
Perfect.
it's all good. So
And he has time to do it before the
and
deadline?
he knows the deadline, so he knows when we're up. Byron and I met with him and went over the properties, and he's got a plan. So.
Bill, I'm assuming letter C under new business is board to discuss engineering on Ranbury Road.
Sure. I don't have my
Oh, was
agenda in
that
front of me.
It looked like we just forgot a couple words. It just says board to discuss engineering and.
Okay. It's possible.
So that C should be to discuss Ranbury Road.
Yes, it should be.
While you're sitting there, on the agenda, John Paul, under old business, board to vote on table motion from July 23rd, sending the invoice to the PD, for the PD services to the mall. Did you want to proceed with that, or did you have something, Mary, to update us on that?
I did speak with Kevin Brown, our town attorney, and actually, maybe we should do that in executive session. So, yeah.
All right, Bill, you're all set, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Barbara Noyes Pulling's here tonight. Town Planning Commission, come on up. I'm sorry, Fred. I'm sorry, I didn't call on you. What, did you have something for Bill?
Not really for Bill, for the board.
Yes.
During my short stint as executive director of the Regional Planning Commission,
Yeah.
I attended the chamber meetings,
Yes.
and they do actually do quite a little bit of work for the community, but you have to be aware of the programs and take advantage of them.
Right.
And the legislative breakfasts that they sponsor, I usually try to go to those, and those are quite informative.
Yeah, me too. They're good.
And, but one of the big things that they will do for you is market any properties in town that are on the market. And, but they have to know about it, so you have to let them know about it.
I think they probably know the mall could use a little help.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, unless somebody's approached them, there's nobody sitting there at those meetings and says, "Oh, by the way, we should try to market the mall." So,
Sure.
But for what it's worth.
Thanks. Barbara,
Good evening.
good evening. How are you?
Good, good.
Great.
At the Planning Commission's last meeting, about a couple weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, we had a couple items before us that I should let you know about. One concerns Otter Creek 2, the solar project, and the second access road for that. The project's been held up, I believe, because of that. So we had a representative from Ecos Energy and Isovolta at our last meeting, and they've worked out a boundary line adjustment so that Ecos could get a gravel driveway from Windcrest to Otter Creek number 2 project. The other Otter Creek project is accessing Cold River Road. Their certificate of public good, so they needed 2 access because there's 2 projects. They were approved for 2 projects. So all that looked good. So we approved the survey that had been done. It's a small triangle that Isovolta is giving up, is giving to Ecos for that. And the gravel driveway will be in as long as the project is in operation and then goes during the decommissioning.
Goes where? Back to Isovolta?
No, not the land, but
okay.
the driveway. They won't need it anymore. So we'll just go back to grass.
Is Brad Wilson, is he still in the mix, or is he no longer with?
I don't think he's with them any longer. So, in our discussions, Isovolta asked about the town continuing to maintain the road from the railroad tracks to their business. The town has been doing that. And in their research for this boundary line adjustment with Ecos, they found it wasn't real clear cut who should be maintaining or who owns that part of Windcrest Drive.
Byron, didn't we discuss that Isovolta should just deed that part of the road back to the town?
Well, that's the way it was left the last time that I talked to Brad Wilson. There's like a 60-foot strip of land there. He wanted to know if the town would object to having 60 feet instead of 50 feet. And I said, absolutely not. That's perfectly fine. So that would give us from 25 feet on the east side of the road to the railroad right of way.
Do we need it?
We would do a 10-foot strip of land.
Goes with the road.
Yeah, okay.
Be kind of like the Crestway thing where there's that little strip.
Place to put a sewer line without asking permission.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Are we talking about the same thing though?
Yeah, I'm not
Maybe
sure.
I'm confused. I thought maybe I'm confused, but I thought what you were referring to is it was discovered that last section of Windcrest Road is not ours. It's Isovolta's. We've been plowing it all these winters.
It's been plowed and paved for decades, as far as I know.
Right, but it's technically not the town's.
Technically, we have not been able to find anywhere where it was given over to the town. We have found a description where the previous landowner kept a 50-foot strip to access water lines that he owned way down on the south end there next to the river. But that was never, that I could find, never given to the town.
So in your opinion, it's business as usual down there? We keep doing what we're doing, and
That's the way I felt about it. Kevin Brown said we should stop immediately, but he's not collecting tax money on that big business either.
We need to have them deeded over to us. If it wasn't done when the road was done, it just needs to be a matter of record of deeding over the right of way. And I think what you were referring to is that right of way would be 60 feet versus 50,
Right.
right?
Because
Yeah,
if they deed us that 50-foot
Then you got a strip.
then there's gonna be like a 10-foot strip or 6-foot strip of land
Yeah,
between that right of way and the railroad's right of way.
right.
right.
And that's all owned by Isovolta.
Correct.
Okay. So I would think that we should pursue having them deed it to us and get it done. It's not gonna be any different. We're maintaining it now. We should own it. Because if they sell the business and somebody else owns it, they just,
I agree.
you know, could be different.
Mary, you don't look convinced.
It's just when we take over other pieces of property, it seems to be a lot more involved, and we're just jumping right into this one. Maybe we should, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think until this came up with, Ecos wanting to get access to that road, we assumed it was ours.
Yes.
And we find out,
There must have been something or some process or something that was submitted to the state because it's included on our class 2,
Yeah.
our class 3 state aid.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be something somewhere.
And has our searcher hit that road in our,
Yeah.
no, okay. Well, You can toss it to highway and we can go take a look, because I'm not really sure I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, that's all right, too.
Hi, we can
Alright.
have a site visit.
Another site visit.
Okay, there won't be customer cars.
So we're working on it, Barbara.
Okay.
What else you have for us?
The other item was the Velco properties,
Oh, yes.
where they want to put in a solar array, and they didn't have the distance for the setback. Even though they own property, our plats or our records here in town did not update their most recent purchase. So they did a survey plat and brought that before the Planning Commission. It looks good. It's actually 3 properties. There's another little piece up in the northwest that I guess they recently purchased. But it looks all good. And so we approved it. I'm not entirely clear what the select board said needed to happen, or what the next steps would be. I don't know if you want a new deed on that as well, but everything is kosher with the Planning Commission as far as the boundary lines.
They were just
Plat.
merging, well, 2, it sounds like 3 pieces of property, so then they could extend over into the setback of one of the properties that is now merged, so it's no longer a setback, right?
Right, right. Yes, their property, their original property, part of the Gurdon estate,
Yeah.
and then this little thing up in the northwest corner. So, yeah, I mean, they presented us with a plat that looks like this,
Okay.
that encompasses all 3.
So do you want
And-
more than that, JP? Because I
You're
think
the
you
real
had,
estate lawyer.
you had raised it. I mean, there's merger in effect, and if you record the plat, it's probably,
It's good enough for anybody who wants to buy it later
all
on.
right, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I guess the only other thing, we have the next public meeting on the stormwater ordinance on October 24th. That'll be here. And the only other thing is that the Planning Commission's going to try out an earlier start time for our meetings. At 6:30 instead of 7. We're going to try that for 3 meetings, see how that works.
Great. When is the Regional Planning Commission meeting this month?
The 17th, the third Tuesday.
You make sure Bill Mattson knows about that. Billy Sweet. Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
All right, Barbara, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Barbara.
Kirsten Hathaway, Town Clerk and Treasurer. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
I actually don't have a lot. We've been kind of consumed by taxes, so which are coming in very, very well. But I did print out the new local option numbers that I got today, so that you can see kind of where we're at. I checked against last year's, and it looks like the last date returns that were processed, the May 11th through August 10th, are pretty much on par with where they were last year. So nothing's gone down at all, which is good. It hasn't gone up, but it hasn't gone down, so at least we have that. And I did
It's
put...
good that it's good that it's staying steady because we've lost a couple places
Yes.
that produced 1%, like Garvey Nissan's gone, their parts department produced 1%, a couple other places that are gone, so
Right.
it's good we're maintaining.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I did put a budget status report on your desks also. I didn't see anything that was super concerning at this point. The only thing that I saw that was over was the retreatment, which I think Byron had already budgeted for this year. We have the highway carryover.
Yeah, so I had highlighted a couple things, that was one of them, so. What else do you have for us, Kirsten?
Andrew from AM Peisch is coming in tomorrow to start the audit. He'll be in tomorrow, he'll be in next week. And then I'm gonna be out on Friday, for the Vermont Emergency Management Conference. There's some stuff on document, maintenance and things like that. So like all of the important documents that we have here in the town hall, how to prepare for a disaster, and how to take care of them so that we don't have to worry about any kind of disaster. And then Thursday, September 12th is the annual, Clerks and Treasurers Conference, so I'll be out for that too.
You're gonna be able to make that meeting tomorrow morning, then?
Yes.
Thank you, appreciate it. When are the bids due for the clerk's office renovations? And if a contractor wanted to come in at any time, we're still doing walkthroughs and all that with them.
Absolutely.
All right. Good to know. I had one ask me about that. All right. Anything for Kirsten?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bill Sweet, would you mind phoning Howard and ask him to be here for 6:45 instead of 7?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Byron Hathaway.
You shut the windows, but you didn't turn the AC on.
They don't let me touch the remote.
Okay. Now we're gonna listen to the cars.
Byron, how are you?
Good. Nothing, just a short thing here.
Okay.
The TAC committee of the Regional Planning Commission, after their normal summer hiatus, will be meeting again September 24th, I think, and monthly after that. So I will be giving you updates on where we are with that. Some of the things we do are looking at grant applications and things like that.
Great.
I think Bill Sweet talked to me, and I think we're planning on flushing the manhole on Seward Road tomorrow.
I think so.
Unless it's desperately pouring rain and we can put it off a week. So that's coming right up pretty quick.
Okay.
And then the other thing was to open the bids for the Town Line Road.
Yeah, I have those here. We'll get to that. I just had Kirsten give us the latest budget printout as she just indicated, and I just highlighted. We went 71,000 over in retreatment, but you accounted for that somehow in your budget.
That was planned for, yes.
Okay. So it shows a deficit on paper, but it's not.
Correct.
All right. So we have, looks like 2 bids. One is from Dubois and King. Quite a thorough packet here. Did you look at these, Byron?
I have not looked at them.
So
no.
would you like to look through these and then in 2 weeks we would award?
No, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's flat rate, so much money, and that's what they get.
Okay. So the first one's Dubois and King. Lump sum amount for engineering services for the Town Line Road Culvert Replacement Project, $18,973. Second one's from Otter Creek Engineering. For the record, that one was already opened on my desk. This one is sealed.
That was a mistake by the town clerk.
It is addressed to, it was addressed to the town clerk, so. Otter Creek Engineering. $11,925. And then it gets a schedule of rates and fees on the second page.
Well, that's exciting because both bids are well below what we had budgeted for.
Good.
Great. Which way would the board like to go?
I'd make a motion, we accept Otter Creek's bid.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by John Paul, to accept Otter Creek's bid of $11,925. And it doesn't look like there's anywhere for me to sign. For discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Do you want to use VLCT's contract form and make up a contract?
Is that pretty standard what we've done in the past, Baron?
We've done that with paving, yeah.
Is that alright with the board?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bill, will you keep these on file somewhere?
Yep.
Thanks. Okay. What else for Byron?
That's all we had, unless there's any questions or anything.
McKinley Avenue, right there by the state police's driveway, the remodeling of the shoulder of the road there, is that going to affect you and the town, or?
Yeah, I've got to get a hold of that guy, send him a letter, because he needs to, the fill is okay where it is, but he's got to reestablish a ditch closer to the road.
Okay.
to pick up the water coming off the
Any of
Perk
you,
properties.
you haven't been up McKinley Avenue, the gentleman that owns property right across the road, they dumped a bunch of fill in there, some very large boulders and a lot of stuff in there, and it changed the shoulder of the road and it changed the drainage there. So I know Byron, I just want to make sure you had a plan.
Stop. Did you have a question, Mary?
No, we
had a highway committee meeting, but I was gonna let Mary report on that.
Right, I was just gonna
Yeah.
pull up my packet.
Oh, well, Mary's pulling that up. Have we had any luck with the 25-mile-an-hour speed signs throughout town?
I've got them, I just gotta schedule time to get them put up.
When you build out your schedule, can you put Ranbury Road to the top of the list?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
I've had several complaints from Chisana Drive too. There's a lot of.
That's why we passed the ordinance, so we'll, as soon as Byron can get this.
Ranbury Road on that list that was passed?
I'm not sure. I thought we did it as the subdivisions, all of them, or any of the non-through roads. I don't remember how that ordinance exactly
I'll
was.
have to check on the ordinance.
So,
If
Highway
not,
Committee? Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, Mary. No. Well, the situation on Ranbury Road is kind of dangerous per our Water Sewer Committee meeting and the, what we observed down there, and,
Not good.
not good.
Someone's gonna get killed.
Yep. And we just, needs to be addressed.
Mary, please,
Okay,
the floor is yours.
We had 4 items that we discussed at our Highway Committee meeting, which was August 28th. First was what JP called to our attention, the possibility of installing a sidewalk or possibly a shared use path, and we wanted to ask you about that, along Route 7 North near McKinley Avenue because of the pinch point that is created on Route 7 for those who are walking or cycling. We talked about east side versus west side of the road. There may be some grant funding available, but we would be asked to match up to 20% of it. We suspect there'll be a potential snow removal issue. Anyway, the bottom line is, because the grants are coming up very soon, we think we should pursue a grant for it. It's probably the perfect type of project for this. However, the next round applications close very soon, and we're probably not going to be in on time, so it might have to wait until 2020, but we should pursue it at that time. This project was also included on the Highways 5-year plan, so it's all in line with what we had talked about. And, frankly, it would connect the town school to the city sidewalk system, which is another very nice thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Mary?
thanks for, yep.
Just one point, I don't know if you mentioned that, this is just the first part of that. This
Yeah.
is a scoping study.
Right.
And then the actual construction will be
Right.
down the road.
Estimate of the scoping study would be maybe between 30 and 35,000, and the grant would cover probably 80% of that, so it's affordable and should be pursued. Okay, that's one. That raised the issue of the shared use path from Northwood down Chisana Drive to the school, but particularly on Chisana Drive, and then connecting. So what we thought we would do is, there are 3 homeowners, I think we decided, and we're gonna send a letter to all 3 and ask if any of the 3 would be interested in having the town purchase a right-of-way. Because we've gone, one by one, and it's time to just see if there's interest from any of them and what the price may be. So we're gonna pursue that. What am I missing here? The town of Clarendon wanted to buy out our half of the mower, which we have, and we would recommend that to the full board. We would have to buy a mower ourselves, which is also in the Highway 5-year plan, and we had discussed the types that will look into it. And we would take the funds to purchase the mower from the highway depreciation account. It probably won't happen this year. It would be next spring that we would be investigating it, but did we talk about specs? Oops, let's see. Yeah.
No, we didn't talk about specifications.
We talked about the price of what we would probably get from
Yeah.
Clarendon. And then there was the possibility of a joint purchase with Mendon
Yes.
in the future.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
quickly reading through the minutes and all of that is in there. So, anyway, our recommend is that we do agree to the sale. We have let Byron negotiate, but we gave him an idea of what the price is, and that's reflected here for our share, and then proceed with seeing if Mendon would be interested in a joint purchase with us. They have fewer miles to mow than we do. Clarendon has more miles to mow than we do.
Is that the motivating factor behind Clarendon wanting to buy us out?
I think so, because it's the total mileage between the two towns is way too much, unless you had say a part-time, full-time position for June to October, and somebody sat in that tractor every day.
Gotcha. So is there a motion to approve Byron entering negotiations with Clarendon for the sale of the tractor?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Sharon, seconded by Joe. For discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
One other thing that we might want to discuss, and we discussed this, and I don't
It's
know
in
if
the minutes. Do you want me to continue with the
oh,
minutes?
is it in there? I haven't read them.
Carmel Place?
No, I was going to talk about the purchase of a replacement mower. If we were to look at a new one about our purchasing policy, we had that lengthy discussion. Our purchasing policy always reflects if we're buying something new, we'd put it out to bid. And I don't know how, if you can find some pretty good used machines that out there, and how we would go about that if we would allow our highway, Mendon's to look at a machine and jointly, look at multiple machines and pick the one they like best, or how would you do that? How would we enter into that to replace it? That was my concern. Because I like the idea of looking at some good used machines, and we have, you might pick up a decent machine for half the cost of a new one.
The other factor would be if Mendon goes in with us.
Right, and maybe we need to have once this goes through, because this could happen that Byron's going to need a mower in the spring. I see this happening right off Clarendon buying it out, and so for next mowing season, we're going to need a mower, so we need to have a plan in place. I would be okay if
You want me to write up some, just give you some general idea of different prices and different things that are available out there, and then decide how you want to pursue it. I don't think you need to make a decision on it tonight. This is
I'd be okay with it.
something everybody should have in the back of their mind, and we'll discuss it further as we get into toward budget time.
Yeah, if we had half a dozen or 3 or 4 comparative prices on similar machines and pick the one we like the best, because I think it's pretty hard to put something out to bid for a used machine. That would, and I'd,
Okay, you'll work on that, Byron?
I will work on that.
okay. All right, thanks, Mary.
2 other quick things. Carmel Place, there was a request to remember by the Homeowners Association of Carmel Place to waive the requirement of as-built plans for their road. We are going to inform them, and maybe we already have, that a survey will need to be done to establish the as-built location within the right-of-way and the property line details, and any easements for drainage that may be required. And we suggest they check with city DPW, because the water main lines would be under the road, and that might help establish where things are. And if those are provided, we would recommend to the board that we waive the requirement of as-built plans, as long as they did provide the survey and property line details and drainage easements.
Did they seem fairly interested in pursuing that?
I don't know. Has anyone talked with them since?
No, I wasn't going to talk to Carl until after, the full board consensus as to whether I should or not.
Yeah.
Byron's pretty comfortable. The road construction itself is adequate, but we just need to know utilities and any other stuff within the right of way. We need to know where that stuff is, and they have to do something. The town doesn't need to do all that work. They need to do that work, and
Right. Okay.
So, do we agree that Byron can proceed along this, that yes, we will waive, but we need some
Yeah,
of
the
these
stuff we
other things
specified.
in its place.
I'm in favor of it.
I'm
Sharon?
Yep.
John? Good.
Okay, all right. The only other thing, because I wanted to check on status, the slip lane project, Bill dug out our, slip lane was to get truck traffic from Route 7 south of town over to Farrell Transportation. And we did actually, we have an extension already, and our extension is to December 19, 2020. So we have a little time. And it was not to get it built, but it was to talk about whether we want to do that or something else. But we have a little bit of time on that. So, that's all.
Thanks
Thank
for
you, Bill.
staying on top of that. Anything for Byron?
Okay.
Good.
I'm all set.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ed Dumas, Town Police Chief. John Paul, do you have anything as health officer? Chief, how are you tonight?
Very good.
Good, sir.
So last week period we had 58 calls for service, and there's not a lot of agency assist, so a few.
You speak a little louder, Chief.
I said we had 58 calls for service, and that was mentioned. There's not a lot of agency assists in this group. There's a few.
Yeah, we're on to 2 pages now.
Yep.
State police have figured out we have another police officer.
Didn't take long.
Yes. And the other thing, we have all the stuff ready for the new officer. Should be starting Monday with John at the school, and that's going good. The truck, we're still waiting on some parts for the lights, so they're. What's that?
Where is the truck?
Yeah. Okay.
Could you invite our new officer to come to the next board meeting so we can all meet her?
I will.
Yeah, good.
And Byron, we still haven't met your new full-time person. Is that something we could meet? That'd be great. Just put a name to the face.
Yeah.
Face to the name.
Yeah, there's, minus the stuff you don't have, is the truck what you wanted? Did you get, I mean, you okay with the truck as far as?
Yeah, that we're just trying to figure out how to pay for it. That's about it. It's, I don't know. It'll take time. Not that we
But the
don't.
truck itself is okay.
Yes,
You got what you ordered.
yes.
Okay.
And I gotta get a radio soon. Where I'm lacking a portable for myself. So, that's about it.
Anything for the police chief?
I have one issue. My neighbors were up on Perkins Road. We're talking, I wanted to know what's gonna happen with the health officer in that property up there. They wanted me to ask you about that, so.
I'm working with the owner,
Okay,
lack of resource.
yep, okay. Okay, that's it.
Chief, thanks for your time. Yep. Appreciate you being here. Committee meeting updates. Water and Sewer Committee. That, I'm assuming, we would go to letter C under new business board to discuss engineering of Ranbury Road. Bill, did you produce these minutes or did Mary?
I did.
Bill did? So we had a 10 a.m. on Friday, August 23rd. We had a site visit on Ranbury Road. Myself, Mary, Joe, Byron, Kirsten, and Bill were there representing the town. And
Howard is
So-
there.
what?
Howard is there too, isn't he?
Did I miss you, Howard?
Yeah.
My apologies. And anyways, we discussed the water line down Ranbury Road, and there were several businesses represented, and there was a varying degrees of interest from, I would say, businesses, whether or not they would tie into the line. The committee still felt there's a lot of value for future growth and development, for fire suppression, and a number of other reasons why this project would make sense to at least put out to bid. Now, we received from Otter Creek Engineering his sort of estimate on costs at $375,000. I think I don't speak for just myself, but we were a little surprised at the price tag at that, because we had been talking quite a bit less, and we had at one time received a
His initial price was $100,000 less to build this.
Yes.
right.
Which is surprising that it jumped that much, but I don't know why, unless that's a mistake.
Well, and
Well, he said he put a really healthy contingent.
Yeah, it's like $100,000 worth.
That's a lot.
That's
But-
healthy.
Still, we don't know until we go out to bid.
Right.
I think it makes sense that we take it to the next step and we at least go out to bid and see what the bids come back at.
Right.
We need to do that before we know if this is a viable project or not.
Right.
For those down there, it is. The ones that don't have potable water along that road, so.
Would somebody like to put that in a motion for him?
So moved.
Motion by Sharon. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Joe. Motion is to put out to bid the proposed water line project on Ranbury Road. Bill, you'll work on some
Yes.
stuff on that for us?
I'll probably call Robert Clark and.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will actually do that for us. I mean, I think they'll put the bid specs all together for us, and
Okay.
that's what I understood from his, in our discussions with him, and basically, they have to do the soil borings first, get the results of that, and then after that, we'll be able to, proceed forward to put it up, but I think I think we should proceed with this.
Okay.
Yep.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So let Robert know that we are at least interested in going that far with the project. Highway committee we already talked about. Water and sewer we talked about. Any other committee meetings I'm missing?
No, not committee meetings.
Board to review bids for engineering work on Stratton Road by Byron. Can we handle that?
Yeah, we awarded the bid.
Yeah. It's not Stratton Road though.
Oh, not Stratton Road. Was it? No.
It's Town Line Road.
All right. But, yeah.
Who wrote it?
I
Who
think that
approved
should have
it?
been Town Line Road. There's nothing going on Stratton Road, is there, Byron? That I missed? Is there something going on Stratton Road that I missed? Okay.
Okay. So A, B, and C are handled. A under old business is an executive session matter.
Yep.
We've handled B. Is there any other newer old business to go before the board? I had one thing I've skipped over with fire. Chris Clark called me yesterday. They have a training in Clarendon, joint training tonight in Clarendon, so that's why the fire department's not here. He asked that we would warn our second fire building replacement committee meeting for September 17th at 4:30 p.m. here. Bill. He wanted to do it here. I told him I would ask you to warn it.
4:30.
When is it again?
4:30, September 17th. It'll be before our next select board meeting. Okay.
I have two small things.
Please, go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, okay. Big thanks to the Boy Scouts of Troops 105 and 120 for their Eagle Scout project of Alex Stute, son of Kendra and Claudia Stute, who live here in town. Alex organized, got a bunch of slate from our town, what used to be on our town hall, painted it with stencils to mark trail signs and other signs for Northwood Park, and then a bunch of scouts showed up, did the stenciling, and did the shellacking. So huge thanks to the scouts, the scouters, and Alex for organizing all that. And then a question whether the Rutland South Rotary Club can borrow the tables downstairs for our annual raffle, if they need them. I don't know if they will
I think
or
we
not.
approve that every year, right? We've done that in years past for your Rotary. Well, it's for a good cause. Any objection? Okay.
Okay, thank you, folks.
John Paul, anything for the board?
All set.
Mary, good?
Yep.
Sharon? Joe?
Yep.
So, a motion would be needed for 2 executive sessions. One, a personnel matter we'll invite Howard Burgess in for, and then second would be pending, possible litigation.
Okay, I will so move.
Motion by Mary, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Joe.
Oh, I did move.
It's all right. You gotta make motions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're gonna go into executive session. All right, so we're out of executive session at 7:17. Is there any action for the board to take?
Yes.
Okay. What are we doing?
I would move that we send a bill to the Diamond Run Service, or Mall for services by our police department.
Second.
Motion by Joe, seconded by John Paul. We're gonna work with the PD on what the exact cost of that, expense of that bill will be, correct?
Yes.
And we will send that off, okay? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Is there any further business to come before the board before a adjournment?
No, I don't know.
A motion to adjourn.
I
So
move.
moved.
Second.
Sharon, seconded by Joe. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Aye.
passes. Good night, everyone.